with Lauren Stallone.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Woodstock police say they are investigating a suspicious death of a 24-year-old man at a home near Dundas Street and Bexley Street. The investigation is ongoing, but we will have more updates on our website at ctvnews.ca. Today, heavy snow and high winds pummeled the region as winter made its vicious return. With more from Midwestern Ontario, here's Scott Miller.
Like many Ontarians, Kevin Bolt was hoping he'd done the last of his snow shoveling last month.
I wish it would go away. Tell you the truth, we've had enough.
Heavy, wet snow blanketed most of our region today. Add in some high winds and you've got a recipe for blowing snow and some pretty awful driving conditions stretching from London north to Tobermory. The moisture-laden snow just piles on for many in Midwestern Ontario specifically, who spent this week dealing with flooding. Rod Jones from Lucknow was moving water out of his basement less than 24 hours ago.
Now I'm shoveling snow and debating about getting the snowblower back out again. I haven't put it away for the winter yet, but hopefully we don't have to get it out too many more times.
Now, is this kind of weather rare for March? No, not really. This kind of thing happens. But it doesn't mean people have to like it.
Just ready for spring.
It's been a brutal winter. Yeah. We keep getting teased with a little bit of spring.
Today's snowfall isn't likely to stick around for long, with double-digit temperatures expected for Monday. But as March typically goes, there is snow in the forecast, off and on, until at least the end of the month.
Well, if you're a snowmobiler, which I used to be, now I'm not, so summer can come.
I grew up in this when I was a kid, so it just kind of come back. I don't know if it's a cycle or if it's weather Armageddon. I don't know.
We hope it's not too many more times anyway. And if it's going to rain, just gentle rains from now on would be nice too.
Near Lucknow, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Provincial police reported multiple crashes they responded to, including a multi-vehicle collision south of London. This was at Highway 402 and Wonderland. An OPP spokesperson said a transport was heading west when the crash happened. 4 passenger vehicles were also involved. Police say the transport crossed the center median, coming to a stop in the eastbound lanes. No serious injuries were reported, and traffic was backed up for several kilometers. There is intense flooding tonight in a small Bruce County community. The Teeswater River spilled its banks this morning, putting parts of Pinkerton underwater and damaging the main road through the village. According to Saugan Conservation Authority officials, the flood conditions could continue into the weekend. A major hurdle has been cleared on Oneida Nation of the Thames in the process of returning reliable water resources. A boil water advisory has been in place for years. Jerry Dewan has more on today's significant step toward getting that lifted.
Oneida has been under a boil water advisory since the fall of 2019, and a state of local emergency was declared in the spring of 2022 in an effort to conserve water. But soon those measures will no longer be needed.
I want to acknowledge the significance of today's milestone and say yawango in our language, which means thank you.
That's Oneida Nation of the Thames Chief Todd Cornelius speaking to the Lake Huron Water Supply System Board meeting on March 5th. On that day, the board formally awarded contracts that clear the way for the construction of the water pipeline to Oneida.
Construction expected to begin this year with completion spring, early 2027. So it's going to bring water from Mount Bridges to Oneida.
The work will be done by L82 Construction with consulting by Stantec. Water for Oneida is currently drawn from an aquifer linked to the Thames River, with farmland runoff and outflows from larger communities upstream raising health concerns.
Growing up on the family farm, they've been my neighbors since I was a kid, so I've been fully aware of the water situation, especially in Oneida, so it's extremely gratifying.
Not only will the pipeline address health concerns for the just over 3,000 people living in Oneida, community members also hope safety will be improved. When it comes to fire services, fire hydrants are restricted to only a portion of the entire First Nation, and water supply can be unreliable. And Chief Cornelius told the board the new pipeline will also offer new economic opportunities for Oneida.
This work contributes not only to strengthening regional water infrastructure, but also to building capacity, creating opportunities for our people, and demonstrating the expertise that exists within our nation.
Cornelia says the approach the board took to this project is also significant.
Many First Nations infrastructure projects have historically happened around us rather than with us. Opportunities to participate directly in the development and construction of major regional infrastructures have often been too limited. Today represents a step forward.
The pipeline was made possible with a spring of 2023 announcement of $43 million from the federal government through Indigenous Services Canada. In Oneida Nation of the Thames, Jerry DeWan, CTV News.
London fire officials are explaining what happened last night after video online shows a fire truck responding to a call while dragging 200 feet of hose behind it. Brian Bicknell reports.
They rush to the rescue when we need help. But you could say the London Fire Department hit a snag on their way to an emergency Thursday night.
It did deploy approximately 200 feet of hose. It does have a heavier nozzle at the end, so there is always that risk.
Video posted to social media shows a London fire truck heading west on Queens Ave at Rideout Street responding to a call. Part of a hose can be seen trailing behind. It snakes through the undersides of two cars at the light before the video stops with the fire engine outside Museum London.
When the nozzle's here and it actually comes down, it does put some pressure on the hose, which runs the potential that it can come out. We do have what's called a dust flap on here that comes down to also prevent it from occurring. But occasionally, if this comes out, it can result in the remainder of the hose coming out. As I said, this is not what our intention is. Our intention is to make sure that we can respond as quickly as possible in a deployable way. But on occasion, this has occurred.
Now, with so much fakery out there, this video is so outrageous, it's hard to tell if it's real or if it's AI generated. And one tech expert says that's something we should be concerned about.
When emergencies happen in our communities, information is what allows us to decide what to do next. It's absolutely critical for the community to know what's happening. If you're seeing imagery that is not real, but it looks like it's real, it could get people into trouble. Maybe they will evacuate when they shouldn't. Maybe they will not evacuate when they should. But that sort of skipped moment in the case of, in the moment of an emergency can be the difference between, in some cases, life and death.
In the meantime, LFD says no one was hurt in the hose mishap, and there was no damage to the stopped vehicles. As for the hose, it sustained about $3,000 damage.
It's disappointing that that this has been posted. However, we recognize it did occur, and we recognize that we can always take a look at opportunities to improve our hose deployment. But I can assure the public that our firefighters want to ensure that the public that we have public safety always at mind.
Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
London police say they're looking for a woman wanted for a violent shoplifting incident. Police say the woman tried to leave with some items from a store near Trafalgar and Clark last month. According to police, she assaulted an employee when she was confronted. She's described as white with a slim build and short brown hair. 2 of the 4 people charged in the Chesham Place weapons and explosives investigation made court appearances today, one of them to set a bail hearing. 27-year-old Jerry Tong appeared via Zoom from the Stratford jail. His bail hearing is now scheduled for next Wednesday. Meanwhile, 25-year-old Fahan appeared from the Elgin Middlesex Detention Center. He was previously denied bail and is still looking for a new lawyer. Zekun Wang has been released on bail. Fayong Z remains in custody with her next court appearance next Thursday. City staff are committing provincial funds for emergency repairs at the Toll Puddle Housing Co-op, addressing the security and fire alarm systems. However, it's less money than what the ward councillor believed was coming earlier this week. With more, here's Daryl Newcomb.
Broken security and fire monitoring systems at the entrances to the Toll Puddle Housing Co-op. The situation has required paying for 24/7 security as the cash-strapped provider of affordable and rent-geared to income housing awaits provincial funding for repairs.
The most important thing is there fire and security measures in place?
At a committee meeting earlier this week, Councillor Susan Stevenson sought to ensure that the release of provincial funding for the security and fire monitor wasn't going to be contingent on the co-op resolving a $77,000 construction lien. So a letter from city staff this week raised concern that Toll Puddle's $91,600 from the Canada-Ontario Community Housing Initiative, also known as COCHI funding, included $77,000 for the lien and only the remaining funds for the repairs. That wasn't mentioned in this report approved by Council on March 3rd, showing only security and fire monitoring.
I had seen in a report to Council that $92,000 was being allocated for fire and security, which made me very happy. But the most recent memo that I've seen has $15,000 for fire and security and still has $77,000 going towards the lien.
Given the urgency, we sent several direct questions to City Hall, including what if the $15,000 isn't enough to repair the security and fire systems, and was the $77,000 to cover the lien always included in the COCHI funding? The Director of Municipal Housing and Industrial Development responded, quote, the $91,000 amount included the lien. If the co-op is successful in negotiating a reduction or removal of the lien, the funds can be repurposed. He adds that, quote, if the identified COCHI funding is insufficient and additional funding is required, the city will explore options to identify one. Stevenson says she'll continue to work with city staff ahead of the upcoming council meeting.
If input from Council is helpful, it needs to happen before March 31st. So this is a very urgent emergency type issue.
City staff have committed to bring forward a report and recommendations regarding the overall situation at Toll Puddle at a committee meeting April 13th. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
The provincial government is changing the rules for freedom of information requests. Critics say it's a deliberate attempt to decrease government transparency. With more, here's Siobhan Morris.
It's a shift in Ontario's freedom of information law that will keep more records and decisions in darkness. The government says it's modernizing 40-year-old legislation that doesn't reflect how people connect.
We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have cloud computing. We didn't have even email. Email was very new at the time.
A bill to be introduced this spring would mean records from the Premier, cabinet ministers, parliamentary assistants, and their offices wouldn't be available to journalists or members of the public. That covers virtually all progressive Conservative MPPs and their staff.
This government has probably been one of the most transparent governments in the history of Ontario.
The leader of the opposition sees this quite a different way.
This is I'll start by saying that.
Unconvinced by the government's rationale.
No government is going to shut down freedom of information laws unless they're trying to hide something.
The changes a new challenge to get answers.
This shows that Doug Ford is only trying to protect himself and his government.
The plan is to apply the eventual law retroactively. That could hit requests already in the pipeline.
You call myself on my cell phone number.
There's a multi-year fight to peek into the personal phone the Premier uses for work.
I'm quite certain that the litigation will be moot, because we won't be able to get the Premier's phone records. So, the timing is very interesting. It does seem as though the Premier has a personal interest in this legislation.
The fact that Ontario says it's lining up laws with other provinces and the federal government
does not justify the Ford government adding an excessive secrecy loophole and layer of secrecy that will lead to even more corruption, waste of the public's money, and abuses of power.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
The London Knights hosted the Guelph Storm at Canada Life Place tonight. Early in the first, the Knights gained possession of the puck and Evan Van Gorp buries it. It was a back-and-forth battle all night, with the Knights scoring 3 more after that. The Knights won 4-3 the final and will be back Sunday night in Windsor to take on the Spitfires. Coming up, it's Oscar weekend. We'll take you to the red carpet for a preview of Sunday's show. Canada's main stock index was weighed down today by losses in the base metals sector. In Toronto, the TSX dropped 299 points, and in New York, the Dow fell 119, and the Nasdaq lost 206. The Canadian dollar is down half a cent today, and on commodity markets, gold lost $64 an ounce, and oil gained almost $3 a barrel. Harm reduction groups in Toronto are reacting to the Ford government going to stop funding supervised consumption sites. Harm reduction advocates say this move comes as the number of people who experienced a drug overdose in Toronto in January almost doubled from a year ago.
These sites save lives. We know that harm reduction saves lives. We also know that you can't just do these things as one thing, that it's not just one approach, that you need approaches side by side with each other. What the government is choosing to do today will cause deaths, and it's something that we said would happen when the sites close, and people did die. We've seen a doubling of overdoses in the city of Toronto.
The provincial government moved last year to ban supervised consumption sites within 200 meters of schools and childcare centers. At the time, it said it was investing $378 million in 19 new homelessness and addiction recovery treatment hubs known as Heart Hubs. There's no sign of de-escalation in the Middle East now 2 weeks into the conflict. The death toll is mounting and there are knock-on economic impacts around the world. With the latest, here's Heather Wright.
What appears to be a projectile streaks across the sky near Incirlik Air Base in southern Turkey. NATO confirming a missile from Iran bound for Turkey was intercepted today, the third such interception since the war began.
It sounds crazy because, normally Iran is a semi-ally to Turkey. So that was surprising to see. But, war is crazy.
Turkish authorities have not said what the target was, but U.S. and NATO troops are stationed at Incirlik. In Istanbul, the mood is calm, but there is worry the war could spread.
They are trying to involve other countries too. And so maybe there will be something, but I'm hoping it won't be anything bad.
Today, the United States confirmed a refueling plane, similar to the one seen here, crashed in western Iraq, killing all 6 crew members. U.S. Central Command says the crash was not caused by hostile or friendly fire and is under investigation. In Tehran, smoke can be seen rising as thousands gathered to mark Al-Quds Day, one of many rallies across the country. People are not afraid of these attacks, the head of the judiciary said, vowing Iran won't back down. While Iran has been battered by U.S. and Israeli bombardment, it continues to strike its neighbors, with thick black smoke seen rising from Dubai's financial district today. In northern Israel, Iran's proxy Hezbollah fired hundreds of rockets overnight, injuring dozens, including a number of children. Israel continues to hit Beirut and its suburbs, with the death toll in Lebanon at nearly 700, according to the health ministry. Today, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres visited Lebanon and called for an immediate ceasefire.
Lebanon was dragged into a war that is not a war that its people would be willing to have.
The exact death toll of this conflict is still not clear, but government officials and UN agencies believe as many as 2,000 people have been killed and millions displaced, the majority in Iran and Lebanon. Heather Wright, CTV News, Istanbul.
Good evening. I'm meteorologist Gary Archibald for CTV News. A massive system of low pressure is pounding much of southern Ontario with potentially damaging wind and, of course, a broad sweep of snow, even a wintry mix this morning through the afternoon, now evening and late overnight. We're still seeing those winds dominate much of southern Ontario. There's still more snow, and for parts of the Midwestern tier, we're looking at upwards of 20 centimeters, maybe even 30 before it's said and done, closer to the eastern shores of Lake Huron and Georgian Bay. We'll see some sunshine. Don't give up hope. It's coming for Saturday afternoon. Beyond that, the temperatures are on a roller coaster ride. I'll fill you in with this dynamic and frustrating forecast. It's coming up next on CTV News.
Gary is here with a detailed look at your weather. Gary?
Lauren, it's been a very difficult forecast to compile, and there's so many different elements that have come together. One thing we do know, massive system, very powerful in terms of the wind profile. Gusts in excess of 80 kilometers per hour, as high as 100, maybe 110 through this evening in some parts of southern Ontario, hence the warning, wind warning from Environment Canada. Today was a seasonal day in terms of temperatures. Not much to see here. We were within the average range for both highs and lows. So what was going on? Well, it was just a potent storm at its core. And when we have intense cores with areas of low pressure, we're talking about very strong winds. And those gusts still strong tonight, lightening up, say, at around, say, 6 or 7 in the morning tomorrow. And we will see a bit of a clear. We'll see some sunshine after this system passes through, works its way a little bit further east towards Toronto overnight into Kingston, Ottawa, Cornwall, Gananoque, the nation's capital area. Eventually, it's just on that track, literally riding the 401. The center of that low is just going to slide right through. There's your break. Still cold, chilly a bit, especially in the morning. And then we're looking at another system on its heels. Snow followed by rain is the story for Sunday morning in particular. And the heaviest bands likely in the Snowbelt region. We know these areas very well. The usual suspects, Waterton, Owen Sound, Tobermory, Kincardine, Southampton, Mount Forest, Shelburne, Hanover getting hit. And then when temperatures rise near the freezing mark, if not slightly above, we could see a switch to ice pellets, grapple, freezing rain, and rain itself with wet flakes. So we're not out of the woods in terms of dealing with a wintry mix. Take a look at our 7-day forecast. I am calling for sunshine. I am calling for the winds to let up early in the morning. And by the time we're up and around, for most of us, we'll see a sunny day. High of 0, a couple of degrees below seasonal, but we'll take it. And then the great city of London is dealing with a wintry mix Sunday, but temperatures warm Sunday into Monday. Then get cold midweek. What's going on? -6, -1, then warm again? Wow. We're either above seasonal or below seasonal, and that's the story for the Midwest as well. But by the time this whole event's over with the gusty winds, 20-plus centimeters is down on the ground for the Midwest. That wintry mix, the warm-up, Sunday, Monday, still a wintry mix, maybe flurries dominating and colder through the midweek, and then maybe some fair weather and warmer temperatures by Friday. That's a lot to deal with. Wherever you are, travel safely and find a way to enjoy your weather. Good night.
Thanks, Gary. Questions are being raised about the practice of plasma donations in Canada after 2 people in Winnipeg died following collections. CTV's Alex Carpa has more.
22-year-old Rodiat Alabede was a Nigerian student studying in Winnipeg. A GoFundMe page identifies her as one of 2 people who died after donating plasma at 2 collection centers in the city. Now, donating plasma for money could be banned in Manitoba.
All options will remain on the table. Our top priority is the safety and well-being of Manitobans.
Health Canada said it received reports that 2 people died after donating plasma at 2 Grifols centers in Winnipeg. The Spanish-owned company specializes in producing plasma medicines and told CTV News each donor undergoes extensive evaluations before being deemed eligible.
These are really disturbing, tragic events.
The Manitoba Health Coalition says the province must hold an inquest into both deaths and is calling for a provincial ban into paid plasma donations.
We support ending this predatory practice and rebuilding and expanding the voluntary system that is much safer and equitable ultimately.
Grifols has more than a dozen collection centers in Canada. According to its website, donors could make up to $100 per donation.
There is no incentive for Grifols to deny a donor when they could be making money from selling their plasma.
Hematologist Dr. Ryan Zarechansky says deaths from plasma donations are extremely rare.
Neither myself nor colleagues in Winnipeg have heard of this complication, and so it really does evoke a sense of concern that we'll have to understand.
Manitoba's health minister said the province is not ruling out ending payment for plasma here in Manitoba, but said they are waiting for a review from Health Canada. Alex Carper, CTV News, Winnipeg.
CTV News London has a newsletter helping you start your day with the latest local headlines. By signing up, you'll get local news content from CTV London direct to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewslondon.ca.
The Oscars countdown is on, and the big awards show is already making history with record-breaking nominations in a brand new category. ABC's Melissa Dawn now with more on what we can expect from this year's show.
The Dolby Theater transforming.
Here we go.
The red carpet rolled out, ready for the glitz, glamour, and stars for the 98th Academy Awards. Comedian Conan O'Brien is back to host this year's Oscars.
As a fan, as a movie fan, I was really excited to be part of it this year because I watched all these movies without being made to.
The Academy introducing a brand new category, Best Achievement in Casting, the first new category in more than 20 years, which recognizes the people who find your favorite stars.
Get back inside.
Sinners receiving the all-time nomination record at 16.
Everybody put their heart and soul into it. Yes, I wrote the screenplay, yes, I directed it, but they reacted to all of that.
Ryan Coogler's horror thriller up for Best Picture against a strong field of contenders.
Sensei, please.
Including Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another. The stars from K-pop Demon Hunters expected to perform their Oscar-nominated original song.
We're basically taking songs from films and we're not just recreating them like the film did. We're creating them as a celebration of the film as a whole.
What are we doing for the bachelorette party? And fans of the 2011 comedy Bridesmaids won't have to hold on much longer to see that hilarious cast back together.
I mean, we probably have a huge reunion happening. There's been rumors of what that is, and we are very excited to announce that we have a Bridesmaid reunion that is going to be very special.
The producers revealing a lot of surprises there for us, and they've also mentioned there will be reunions, Marvel ones, in fact, so great for superhero fans. Plus, they've hinted at an extraterrestrial that'll be on stage. We are excited to see all of the surprises. Reporting from the red carpet, Melissa Dawn, ABC News, Hollywood.
That's it for us. You can catch the Oscars this Sunday on CTV's main network or stream on Crave starting at 6:30. I'm Lauren Stallone. Have a good night.